All right, we are live.
What up?
Welcome to another great episode of Culture Gumbo. This is episode 37, I believe. We're climbing up slowly.
And
I
this shit is difficult.
What'd you say?
This shit is difficult.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. But we still chugging along and have a great show for you. We know that Black History Month may be over, but we're still speaking Black today. And we are, so the
Oh,
scenario or the list of today is if you were stranded on an island and you had 7 albums to bring only, what would they be? So today, Will and I are going to discuss what our 7 albums are in no order, but we do, we only got 7. So this is a really, really, really hard topic to tackle. Will, are you here? You're frozen.
yeah. I made the mistake of clicking the button and I disappeared for a minute and then I came back. That's my bad.
Okay. You're frozen right now, though.
I'm
Not
coming back
sure.
right now.
Okay. So, while we wait for Will to get back, this criteria for this episode wasn't, I guess, just our favorite albums, or I won't even say favorite because I have a lot of favorites, but things that I feel like I would need to listen to while I'm stranded on an island. Uh, So let's see, Will's coming back in. So we definitely want your opinion today. What would be your albums? You might not be able to think of 7 though, but you might at least be able to think of, your top 3 that if that's all you could bring and it was 7 albums, what would they be? Um, so mine's a little diverse. So I'm waiting to show you until Will comes back. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell another friend that Culture Gumbo is live on YouTube and this streaming platform as well. So my album, especially because this week my list is a little less threatening. Um, Last show, we talked about the top love movies, and I definitely got a little criticism back from that. But I definitely think this album is better, or this show is better. So we'll see.
Yo, stream y'all kicked me out.
Oh, well, I
All
can
right.
see you now, and you're moving. Will
Yeah.
you have taken an intro before I share our list?
No, I was watching while you was talking and I was like, good job, Shakira, because I know you get anxiety when you're on the screen by yourself.
Oh,
Um no, I'm excited. I'm ready for this. This was the hardest list ever.
ever.
Outside of that rappers list. I was mad though because I had to leave off like a couple albums, like Tyler Creator's Flower
How
Boy
you
Made
gonna
Me
wait? How you
Again.
gonna talk about all the stuff that's not on your list first? Can we
I'm
get?
just saying, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like it just what up, see?
I
I'm just
see.
saying, yo, you know how I do. All right, come on, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm
All right.
ready.
All right. So this is in no order.
Right,
um.
right.
So, Will, you have Off the Wall Michael Jackson. Speaking of which,
Mhm.
if I had to add, it would definitely be a Michael Jackson album, but I couldn't choose which one. So that's why he's not on my list. So tell me why you
That's
chose Off the Wall.
that's crazy. How did you not have Off the Wall, which is one of the greatest albums ever
It
on
is. No, it
so
is.
so
But
for
then I
me,
also wanted to pick a Jackson 5 album too. So,
oh, so
um,
you went back. You went back to when like you was a schoolgirl and segregation was going on.
really, not segregation. But yeah, um,
Um, so for me, Off the Wall is probably one of the greatest albums ever made. If you go back and you look at it, it was highly critically acclaimed. I know everybody likes to say Thriller, but for me, Off the Wall had everything. Like on this, literally on this one album, and it's rare that you get this anymore. On this one album, you had Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. You had Rock With You. You had Working Day and Night. The actual song Off the Wall. She's Out of My Life. I Can't Help It. The Stevie Wonder joint. Like, you had a number of hits on this album, and some of the hits that were on the album weren't even singles that were put out.
Right.
I know we don't trust Rolling Stone, but they ranked the album apparently like number 36, so that tells you Rolling Stones don't know what they talking about. And then the album like killed at the Grammys also, if I'm not mistaken. So the album is 9 times platinum. So it's literally one of my favorite albums. It's one of my go-tos, if you know what I'm saying, especially when I want to listen to some Michael Jackson. Everybody goes to History album, but Off the Wall for me was like the end all be all. You got support today because she said Sade is a bop.
Yeah, it's so funny though, because I hear people say that Sade is boring, like, and her music makes them go to sleep, which that is the other side. But for me, this album, this Love Deluxe, is a classic. I think Sade is underrated. I think she doesn't get the love that she deserves. Now, this album, of course, came out in 92, definitely shows my age. But it's really a melodic vibe. She had no Ordinary Love, which everybody knows that. Like a Tattoo, Mermaid Pearls, Cherish the Day. Definitely a classic as well. But I could listen to this whole album from beginning to end and love every moment of it. So Sade is a I would, if I was deserted on an island, her music would be so soothing to my ears. So
Sade makes music for people who want to clap cheeks and want to be romantic about it.
and wrong answer. That is so not true at all. I definitely don't think about that when I think about a Sade album.
Wait, hold up. So when Sade come on, you ain't trying to be like romantic and like all sensual and all that other stuff. That's not what you think about?
No, but I am lighting candles. I am, I want the atmosphere to be nice.
If you lighting candles, you setting the ambiance.
I'm not setting the tone for. I mean, granted, this is a great love making album. I'm not gonna deny that, but it just hasn't been my experience. So, so I don't think of it as, oh, this is the album.
I think Sade is an incredible artist. I think it's still weird that people think that Sade is just one person. It's like it's a whole group, fam.
It's a whole band.
But Sade makes timeless music that you can appreciate no matter how old you are, what's going on. Like, I love that. This was definitely a great album to pick. So,
all right, let's go on.
Ooh.
So of course I will get to yours, but because that is a great album. I was kind of looked at your list, was like, ooh, I would definitely have it was just hard to pick, but Mary J. Blige, My Life album. I thought of, when I picked this album, it was one of my favorites, one of my back in the day when people had tapes. This stayed in my pocket. I used to at one point think I was married, walked around with the combat boots on.
I believe it.
And I, like, you couldn't tell me that like I wasn't related to her in some way, shape, or form. And so I feel like this is so nostalgic. Yup, India, you right. You already know it is. I'm gangster.
I got so many text messages about last week's show, and everybody was like, "Yo, is Shakeerah good? What's going on?" And I was like, "Yo, that's just how she is." So your 7 albums, it's not gonna shock people, but they were all great albums.
They are. Mary J. Blige is my sister in my head, and this album was a classic, and it brought back. It just brings back a nostalgic time for me. First heartbreak, first attempt at love, or something like it, and yeah, this was my album. So
that album is amazing. There were 10 albums I probably would have included that, because My Life had no skips.
None.
Like,
not even the interludes.
And she was like when they talked to her about it, she was like going through it like from beginning to end. It's ironic that you chose that. Did you get a chance to listen to Shaka Khan's interview this past week?
No, but I heard about it, but I didn't listen to it. What did she
So
say?
in her interview this past week, she's like you would think that her and Mary wasn't friends because like the way Shaka went in, she kind of trashed Mary a little bit. You know what I mean? She was being honest. It's one of them old heads of saying they being honest type things, but
They used to always say that Mary couldn't sing.
Yeah, they still say it though sometimes. But according to Shaka Khan,
definitely gotten much better.
According to Shaka Khan, that's what they say. But that joint definitely had no skips. For me, it was Quincy Jones's "The Dude." I can't say that this shows my age because this was literally 3 years before I was even born.
This is before you.
One of the greatest albums of all time. The Dude was actually nominated for 12 Grammy Awards. How it only won 3, I don't understand. It had joints on there like "I Know Corrido." That's my joint. If you've never seen that video, that's a whole vibe. That's a workout song, if we're being honest. Then he had "Just Once." Look, I sound like James Ingram when I say
it. Right. That you definitely. I'm like, I don't know if you sound like that.
Or 100 Ways. 100 Ways. So it's easy to that's so he had that. And of course, Rod Temperton did a lot of the production on his album. Rod Temperton, who's a great writer, actually wrote a lot for Michael Jackson. I didn't know that Patty Austin and Stevie Wonder were writers and producers on this album either.
I knew Stevie Wonder was. I didn't know Patty.
Yeah, so like Quincy has some joints. Like every time Quincy dropped the album, you know what I'm saying, Quincy has some joints. So that was definitely an album for me. I still play it. This is like when you clean the crib music and you gotta throw something on. Quincy Jones do it's 1981 album. So
dope. I can say I agree with everything so far.
Oh, okay.
Hey, so
remember that album?
Huh?
I'm trying to remember that album and what was on it.
I played this album at least twice a week, so it was kind of impossible for me not to include it because I'm a big music Soul Child fan, and it was like to be on a stranded island. I think that I would need this album. It was between this album. It didn't get enough promotion. I think also music is one of those artists that is so low key that like if you're a fan, you know his music is coming out. If you're not, you kind of don't know and you don't really get the opportunity to kind of experience it.
Him and Miguel both.
I agree. I think and music is dropping a new album next week, I believe on the 11th or 12th. And I've heard two songs from it so far, and I do love it already. It gives me this kind of album vibe. I think he's timeless. I've been listening to his albums for so long that I think he's timeless because I still want to hear it and never get over the tracks and the beats. So yeah. That's why Music Soul Child is here. I'm shocked you chose the Black Album, but then I remember how much you said the Black Album was your joint, and yeah. So
the Black Album was 2003. Shout out to India because India was around me 2003, and I was vibing. The Black Album to me is actually Jay-Z's best album. I know everybody likes to say Reasonable Doubt. Everybody, a lot of people like to say Hard Knock Life. Some people even say The Blueprint. But the Black Album was literally a album with 14
points on there.
He had 14 different songs on there that all could have been singles, including the intro. Like if you look at the Black Album, so he had December 4th. He had What More Can I Say, which. What more can I say is that album where it's like, yo, fam, talk your talk. Encore was a classic. Change Clothes is still like one of my favorite upbeat Jay songs. And I think around the same time when they made Change Clothes. They also made Frontin' is top 5 for me ever. He had Dirt Off His Shoulder, Threat on there, he had Moment of Clarity, 99 Problems, Public Service Announcement. That was an interlude that ended up probably being the most popular song on. And he had Lucifer, Lord, and My First Song. For me, this is like pinnacle Jay-Z. Like, I'm a huge Jay-Z fan, but the Black Album was like, if everyone says Thriller was Michael Jackson's greatest album ever, for me, the Black Album was it for Jay-Z. Like, there's nothing that outdoes the Black Album for me as far as Jay-Z is concerned.
That's not my sentiment, but I definitely okay. I'm not gonna go against your
I see it on your face. If you got something to say, bro, say it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for it.
No, the Black Album was cool. It was more of a party joint.
What was your so I see what you have on the list, but is what you have on the list your favorite Jay-Z album ever?
One of my favorites, yes. Yeah.
But it's not the
it was raw, it was real, it wasn't commercial, so yeah.
It's fine. We'll get to it because I feel the heat coming at my neck. Let's go ahead and just yo.
The Black Album was good. Just a Blueprint 3 was good. That was good.
Blueprint 3 was fire. That was definitely an A album. And he got put on Jeezy and J. Cole on that joint. I
definitely messed with the Blueprint. Yeah.
I love all Jay-Z albums, but if I have to pick one, the Black Album is just it for me. Like, that's the move. Like, when he does What More Can I Say? If you were in the car with me, you've seen me sing this song like hard.
That's what I'm saying. So like I wasn't that. What More Can I Say wasn't the it for me on this.
Don't ever disrespect, man. Go to your next.
It wasn't. I do like. Never mind. Moving on. So it's interesting. I was shocked to see the internet on here but the internet. This album is dope. So I'm a huge Marvin Gaye fan. Still to this day, I think this album, of course, this changed a lot during the times that he made it and what was happening during the time he made it. It's a classic to me, and I would definitely take this with me. He's a classic. It's a classic. And
it's a classic album. I don't know if I want to call it his best because it was. I mean,
right, because he did have. I'm not gonna say I consider this to be the best Marvin Gaye. I just think it was the more influential album and kind of got more people's attention.
I'm gonna be honest, right? I love the album. It's amazing. It's Marvin Gaye is literally my mom's favorite artist, so this got a lot of play in the crib. But the album makes me either want to slap somebody or save the world. I'm just not sure I want to be on a deserted island listening to what's going on by myself. Like, am I gonna listen to this album and then be like, yo, let me bust myself up in the head with a coconut because I don't know if I want to be here anymore. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm definitely not doing that.
My favorite song on the album is Inner City Blues, which of course probably makes a lot of sense. T.I. actually sampled it on one of his albums about a decade ago. It's an amazing album, but I think I think this is kind of where we're always going to differ is like when I'm listening to music, bro, I'm not trying to be thinking about ending life or shooting nobody. I'm trying to vibe. For me, that's the internet. That was Ego Death. I know a lot of people really wasn't familiar with them before. Sid is probably one of the dopest singers out. She's done a lot of work with Beyonce and Common, and a couple other people. They had a couple different singles on this joint, but the production that Steve Lacy and Tyler the Creator did on this album was amazing. When I'm thinking about albums that I want to hear, if I'm on a desert island, every album that I'm listening to for me has like no skip, so I can play it all the way through. Because I don't know how long I'm gonna be on this damn desert island. I don't know when them folks coming to get me. I don't even know how I got there because I'm a homebody. I don't even like to be out, so somebody must have drugged me and put me there.
Right.
But for me, Special Affair was amazing. Palace, if you got a chance to hear Palace and you hear Curse and how they transition in and out of the song, I thought that was amazing. Gabby with Janelle Monáe, of course, is great. Girl with Kate Renata was probably the first single. If you weren't familiar with Internet before, that's probably what made you familiar with them. I chose the Internet, and I chose Ego Death because Ego Death is an album I play probably once a week. But when I tell you, I got to the end of my list, and it was literally between this and Anderson .Paak's Ventura.
Oh, that's a good one.
I went back and forth because everybody knows Anderson .Paak is my favorite artist of all time. If I'm being honest, like, you know, when they do those lists at the end of the year, they're like, who did you play? And it's like mine was like Anderson .Paak, like 864 hours. I love Ventura, but I went with Ego Death because it was like everybody knows Anderson .Paak. Let me give people something different. So if you have not listened to Ego Death yet, give it a listen. It's a vibe. It's going to relax you, and it's going to give you some party joints. So, and it's one of the few. They're one of the few artists too, who were still doing live instruments in hip hop, and for me, that's a big deal.
Huge, honestly, because it doesn't happen as often, and I think it adds a different element to hip hop when we have live instruments and real, players. So that's dope. I could see, yeah, I figured the Internet or Anderson .Paak would be on this list for you. So
I fought so hard, yo. Like, I wanted to hit you up and be like, yo, can we do 10 albums? And I knew you was gonna be like, nah, we can't do 10
albums. No, because I had extendos on there, and I was like, okay.
But if you don't, India tried to cheat, because I know India's watching. India tried to cheat, talking about some. She had like a whole, I forget what album it is now because she beat it into my head, but she had like a whole discography of like one joint that's like multiple albums in one.
Oh no.
You can't do that, bro.
It's only one of those albums out. Yeah, you can't. That's cheating.
So, yeah,
I thought about it though. I tried to figure out, should I find some best ofs? Or like, because it's like
you can't, bro.
If I could make my own album to take with me, it would be a various artists
and
different songs.
Of course,
mixtape. I would definitely bring a mixtape.
You cheated. Her and my mom both. Her and my mom both was like, I don't know if I can pick 7 albums. I don't know if I can pick. Listen, you got to pick 7 albums, and they got to be single albums. Don't be out here trying to be talking about, let me.
Anthology still counts as an album.
Let me get that Michael Jackson history. Absolutely not. That does not count.
Right. No, I thought about it though. I'm not gonna lie, but then I was like, I normally get classified as some type of extra cheater, so I tried to be.
You cheated last week.
I did not. I just
cheated last week. You cheated last week, and then you didn't give me the information before, and you had how Stella got her groove back as your favorite Black romance movie of all time, and you saw the response on that one. So there you go.
Yes. I'm still sticking to my story anyway. So I felt like I needed to have a gospel album in there because I love the Lord, and I feel like if I'm going to be on a deserted island, I do need a gospel album. Now, which one? I went back and forth with so many people because I was looking for a best of, but they didn't have it. So I do like Smokey Norfolk. This album is super duper old, but it is still a classic to me. And yeah, so I chose to put a gospel song in a gospel album in there just to make sure in case who knows who else is on this album with me that I don't know. So
I
um,
mean, you really
this is
can't
not
go
my
wrong.
favorite Common album.
I can't say nothing about Smokey Norfolk because he's the man of the cloth. So
You can say you didn't like the album. I mean, you didn't,
I like the album. It just caught me off guard. I was like, all the albums that she picked, this is what she picked. It just kind of caught me off guard, and I was like, Lord, are you trying to call me a heathen?
and
And
I just felt
because
like I needed a gospel track in there. Like I was
my
like, it's
my guy
necessary.
sounds like Richard Roundtree when he talked to me, and he said, "No, stupid. Shakira just wants to be on the desert island. She wants to cry all the time, and Smoking Norfolk makes you cry." So, um, it's Common. Uh, to me, Common had probably the two greatest back-to-back album projects ever in B and Finding Forever. Um, B is a no skip album. Finding Forever is a no skip album. I love Finding Forever because of number one, the production. He had everybody from Kanye to Will I Am. He had J. on that joint. Who else did he have? He had a Kareem Riggins help produce that album also. To me, this is like how can I say it? This is like to me, this is like the best of Kanye. Like Kanye really fought to go back to being soulful on this album. And then on top of that, he wanted to pay homage to Jay Dilla. So on the songs he did produce that you can hear him, you can hear the dedication to Jay Dilla that he did. So it has like Start the Show, it has the people driving me wild. So Kanye produced the people. The people had Gil Scott Heron on there. Forever Begins with I love Forever Begins because growing up, Gil Scott Heron was someone that my uncle used to listen to a lot. So I got to listen to it a lot. Like as a shorty, you don't really understand Gil Scott Heron until you're really an adult, if I'm being honest. But he spoke on this joint. The Misunderstood with the sample on Nina Simone. Break My Heart. So far to go with Dilla, D'Angelo, and Common. It's Chef's Kiss. Like he just had so many songs on there where I was just like, yo, I feel this. And this was a time. Yeah, and this was a time when I think about my favorite albums, I think about where I was in that point in time and what was I doing. At that point in time, I was at college at Kennesaw State. Me and my best friend, me and one of my best friends that connected, shout out to Steve, and we used to play this album going to class every day. And then when we got out, we were still playing the album, and we would go into the Carc and we would rock this album, and everybody else was playing the album also. And the funny thing about it is that this is the only album that Kanye beat at the Grammys that year, and that was Graduation. So it tells you how good the album was. So for me it was Finding Forever is.
I probably would have B. If I had Common on here, it would have been a B.
You wouldn't have went wrong with either one. But
no,
for me, Finding Forever,
really good album.
Being able to hear Gil Scott Heron and Nina Simone and a lot of the Dilla beats on Finding Forever is what put it over the top for me, over B. So
classic.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, we did have a song album that was in common. Stevie Wonder, Songs in the Key of Life. Will, why'd you pick this out? I mean, Stevie has his catalog is ridiculous.
Yes.
So it was really difficult for me I knew Stevie was on here. Like, that's a given, right? Like for me, because to me, he's just one of the greatest of all times. But I was like, what album? Which album should I go for? And this one um, stuck out for me. Isn't She Lovely? Well, that's, that's of course classic. Black Man, great song on that album. Sir Duke, I Wish, Ordinary Pain. And what I loved was, wow, this album had 21 songs. It was
Yeah.
an hour and 45 minutes, which we don't get that. Like songs now got 10, I mean, albums now have about 10, because the EP it used to be 6 or under, but now it looks like EP is 8. And
Mm-hmm.
if
He
you got,
broke it up into 4 sides or something like that, I think.
yeah, he did. He did. And of course, this came out between both. I mean, before both of our times. But I grew up listening to Stevie Wonder, playing the 45s and the 78s and all that stuff as a kid because we had a record player. And yeah, so if I was on an island, this probably might get the most play.
Ironically, the song this album actually included like an extra EP that
Mm-hmm.
had 4 extra songs on there because it had Saturn and Ebony Eyes on there, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if we can check that right now, but I know it had the extra joint on there. And then he had the joint All Day Sucker on there too. I don't know what the fourth
He
song
had,
was.
yeah, he had Ebony Eyes, Saturn, Another Star, All Day Sucker, Easy Going, Evening, and Ass.
Right.
Yeah, this was like 10 songs and 11 more. It was crazy.
So if I'm keeping it a buck, this is the greatest album of all time. There's no album that's gonna surpass this album as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, the instrumentals, the production, I mean, I don't know. Stevie, I haven't seen in concert, and maybe I won't get to in my lifetime, but this is the closest. Like that. To hear this, like I want this on vinyl just to hear it.
I wonder if you can still get it on vinyl or if it's too expensive because this isn't like the registry, right? This isn't like the what you call that thing? The Library of Congress.
Right. I think it might be expensive. I'm about to look it up because I'm curious now.
So this album has probably at least 7 or 8 singles off of this. And you said it had what, like 16 joints on there or 15?
Mm-hmm. Like 20, 21.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, you had, of course, you said Sir Duke. You had I Wish, Pastime Paradise, Summer Soft. This joint that had Knocks Me Off My Feet on there. Isn't She Lovely? What else is on there? Oh wait, until the rainbow's on the star in the sky. Oh wait, until
I can get it on vinyl.
I don't know when you're gonna get the Wilderness version today. You know what I'm saying? Because when that joint come on, I ain't gonna hold you. I love Stevie Wonder, and I still don't know all the words of that song. And
nobody does. Nobody does. I don't think nobody does. You just be like, and you just keep going. Like
Stevie gave you all kinds of stuff that really could not happen, and told you he gonna love you until that happens.
Yes,
like that's an amazing song. Now, the one thing that I do have to say this because I love Stevie, but I gotta ask, which version of Knocks Me Off My Feet was your favorite? His or Donnell Jones?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I love Donnell Jones.
I know.
So, I remember getting, when like back in the day when you would go out or whatever, and it was like an unknown person and they would give you their little sample. And I got the sample of Donnell, and it was like 3 songs of his album or whatever. I forgot where I was, and I kept playing that, and I was like, oh my God. And then it just stayed on repeat for a long time. So it's not to knock Stevie's, but I feel like Donnell killed it. And I played it over and over again. So
it is that, yo, Donnell, But see, okay, and we got to have this conversation because Stevie did so many records for so many people.
Right.
But there are some songs where Stevie was better, but there are some songs where.
Okay, so for instance, my ultimate favorite song ever of all time, that if somebody decides to wife me at some point in my life, A River in the Sky has to be played. However,
I
intro,
know where you're going. I know where you're going. Please say it.
intro killed A Ribbon in the Sky. Now I love Stevie Ribbon in the Sky because that's the first one. That's the one I know. But when intro came out and they did Ribbon in the Sky, I can't. I want to only hear some. Unfortunately,
Hold up, because I gotta do it for y'all now. Because you didn't put it out here, right? So he goes,
so,
"A ribbon in the sky, a ribbon in the sky, a ribbon in the sky,
or
for
Stevie.
our love." Yeah, I sound just like them. I should have been in the group.
No, take it back. Clearly, your mama did not bless you with any singing skills. But but I would say those are Donnell and right, right. Let's
Wow, it's a lot of hateration and holleration up in here.
I didn't even know you
I
could
don't
find
even.
these.
I don't even care. Now, so you have that. You have Knocks Me Off My Feet, which
Yes.
we just said Donnell. However, there is a song that Aretha did that Stevie wrote. And I hate to tell y'all, Stevie's version was better.
Wait, what song? Because I'm going drawing a blank right now.
Dang, you just hit me with a blank, and I had it in my hand. And I was about to say you.
How you did that?
Yo, because I was hyped off the Ribbon in the Sky joint.
Yo, that's my favorite song, literally. And I feel like
until you come back to me.
Yes, I'm gonna say I agree, but I do love Aretha's "Until You."
It's not to say that I don't love it, but Stevie.
Who else redid that? Who else redid that? Somebody else redid that.
What? Until You Come Back to Me?
Yeah, who else redid that?
Oh, I know exactly who you're thinking about. Oh man, and is it Mickey Howard?
Somebody have to chime in on that. I'm not sure, but I do feel like there's another artist.
Come back to me. That's what I'm gonna do. I want to know now. Hold up, I gotta look it up.
A few people did it. Hold up.
Wait, Jeffrey Osborne redid it?
I did not even know that, but now I'm like
Mickey Howard. Yeah, Luther did redo it too. Okay,
Luther did redo it. See, now you're gonna go through Luther. Dag nabbit.
Okay, so I got to take it back now. Stevie's version was second. Mickey Howard's was first.
Mickey Howard.
And Aretha was third. And we got to do a show on like forgotten singers because Mickey Howard don't get her flowers.
No, she don't.
Like Mickey Howard was nice with it. I think she's still performing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Until you come back to me, that's what I know.
I don't know why Luther wasn't on my list. All right.
What for albums?
Like I feel like he should go. Like I don't know.
So here's the thing about Luther. If I'm being honest, Luther gave you joints everywhere, but Luther didn't give you that one album where you were just like, "That's the album." Yo, Shantae Moore is another person too.
Oh, Shantae Moore, and her first album, I used to bump that along with Sade.
Yo,
Shantae Moore first. I was satisfied. I was.
She got a joint. Shantae Moore got a joint with. I hate to say his name. I don't want to say his name.
Oh,
she got a joint with He Who Shall Not Be Named because he be peeing on folks. Um, like, don't bother my
Yes.
phone. I was like,
That
all
song
right,
gets a
Shantae.
lot of play on older R&B artists.
Shantae Moore used to kill it. She still does actually. I just saw she did something live maybe like a couple months ago. Um I think they were showing like a replay of her unsung, and like, she still got it. She's married to Stephen Hill, right?
Yeah. No, they have a really great marriage. I'm more or less be into that and them on social media.
Yo, you know who else? Is I ain't gonna say she forgotten, but she don't get the flowers she deserves. Tamia.
Tamia is another one. But I heard Tamia was hard to work with.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it's a fact. I really don't know.
Yo,
Um,
most people don't even know that you got a whole full degree in audio engineering. Like, you really should be out
I
here
don't like to tell people that.
remastering albums. I'm giving you your flowers, homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've done a lot. You know what I'm saying? Howard University alum. You know what I'm saying? We know the real HU is Hampton University, but that's neither here nor there.
Lies. They told you lies. It's
But
always gonna be Howard.
no, we gotta celebrate you. And you even have your own podcast show, which I'm excited to see that come back, yo. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 20 anymore. Like, I want to give you your flowers because I know you work hard. I know so many things are happening for you. I know
I'm gonna
people laugh and joke
flowers
about
right
stuff,
back to you.
and you do amazing, even stuff behind the scenes here. Like, you motivated me to do this. Like, yo, so like, shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? You need to be
Thank you.
producing somebody's
Thank
album
you,
or
Will. I
doing
appreciate
something.
that. I
So
do. I really do.
I know you get uncomfortable when people celebrate you. So
Totally.
I
Like
figure I would just do it on the fly. So
beyond. You want to do it on camera so I could just like look at the ground the whole time because I don't do well with that public, all that good stuff. But
and
I will
shout out to your homegirl, my future boo Ashley too. Hi Ashley, because I know you watching. How you doing?
I'm going to give you flowers back, Will, because you also have been putting in a lot of work on this podcast. And also, I'm going to mess the name up. Um, I don't know why I'm going to
I'm
mess
on a
the name
couple
up.
different ones. So if you mess it up, I can't be mad. I'm on shout out to my people on 494
Yes.
in the main card, man. I
And
love
the shows that you do on 494. So I like, Will works hard over here. I know I say he always sleeping every time I call, which is true, but he does work hard. And
I'm
so
sleeping because I'm working 55 hours a week. I'm learning production. I'm trying to
I get it.
perfect public relation work so we can get to what we need to do.
I
I'm
get
doing
it.
research for the shows. You know what I'm saying? I be tired, and then I got to deal with all y'all shenanigans. India calls me every morning to fill me with some kind of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I talk to Shakeerah every probably at least 3-4 times a week, and she fills me with some type of bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, y'all be tiring me. C probably watching. C be out here giving me a hard time. You know how y'all do. That's what the women in my life.
Whatever. It's okay. You love us all. So
Whatever. Let's get
um
to this last album.
so this actually is our last album.
Mhm.
Um, my last album, I chose Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt. And I don't look at it as this is the best Jay-Z album, but I do look at it as it is one of my favorites. It's at the beginning of his career. It's raw, it's hood, it's hard. Um, that's the rap I like, especially because you guys seen last week's show. Clearly, I'm into gangster movies, shows, music. Just no longer the men though. Um, but Reasonable
Lord.
Doubt had the Biggie joint on there. I mean, it's just a classic album, like honestly. And although, yeah, I didn't have Jay-Z as my top number one when we did our
You a cornball.
rap list. Um, whatever.
You
Um, but
want a chance to be
I
your
would
number one
take this
rapper.
album with me because this album reminded me of my childhood. Like this was 96. Like I was out there. I was a teenager in the streets wilding a little bit, but It was a great time in my life. It was a good time to be alive. In 96 was a good time to be alive, and I enjoy every moment of it. So I feel like if I'm be stranded on an island, I want to remember those good memories that kind of just driving the car, blasting music, doing just a lot of crazy things, but having fun and living life. And I don't want to lose that. So these albums reflect me really remembering that, I'm gonna live life whatever wherever I am. but having those flashbacks of different times in my life, this was the one. Absolutely. It was either gonna be this or it was gonna be DMX. Um
Ooh, it's dark and hell is hot.
yes. And I tossed up because I
Ooh.
was like, I played both of these albums simultaneously. I probably bought this album like 5 times, and every time it got stolen because some black boy would get in my car and be like, "Oh, you got this?" and get me for the CD. So that's when you should drive around with like a case of flipping CDs. This and Mobb Deep was my top two stolen albums. So and DMX, but yeah. So
This was definitely a fire album. Like this is like Jay-Z in his AI rookie year coming in to do you. Like this
yeah,
is this is a fire album. Everything from Brooklyn's Finest to Can I Live to
ain't no nigga. It
this
was
this
just
had Cashmere Thoughts on there, I think, Feeling It, The Evils, 22 twos. Like I feel like if you don't know Jay-Z, I can tell by if you know Reasonable Doubt.
right.
Probably that or Volume 2, because my
Right.
favorite Jay-Z
Politics
song
and
of all
Juvenile
time,
was one of my favorite
my
songs.
favorite my favorite Biggie Jay-Z song of all time is on Volume 2, and that's Imaginary Player. Shout out to my brother Ryan, because Ryan, that's my
Mhm.
ringtone when I call Ryan. That's Imaginary Player is my favorite joint. But that's a great choice either way. You can't go wrong with Jay's premiere joint.
No,
Um
Coming of Age with Memphis Bleak, and it was just an introduction to what we see today. And
the Foe was so disrespectful.
it was, and I loved it. Anyway, um, clearly, but that was then in '96.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway.
that was then. You still got the disrespect going,
Your
but
other album, this album here that you have, I just want to say this is an album that I would have put if we had top 10, because when I got introduced to Phony People, it was just a whole different vibe. It's this
yes,
album is like a wave, like literally
yeah.
riding a wave, and I can listen to this album from beginning to end as well.
Phony People. It's so hard to describe them as a band because that's literally what they are. Um, Probably, uh, well, because the internet's not together anymore either, so it's bar none my favorite band out there. The Roots don't really play no more because the Roots uh, are literally classic. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I would never even put them in that what's the name. But for me, Phony People is probably my favorite band. Um, the music of this album, like I said, I think about albums of where I was in that point in time
Mm-hmm.
in my life, and I think this is when I started my first master's degree program. This is like 2015, 2016. So this is actually when you and I met. Um, this album was special because I played it and I was blown away, because like they were rhyming, but they were really, really, really playing the instruments. Like it wasn't like no extra stuff. They were really, really playing the instruments. And there's a song on there that I always give to friends when like they're going through something or like they need a moment, and it's "Why I Love the Moon." Like if you've never heard "Why I Love the Moon," I urge you after this go listen to "Why I Love the Moon." It's definitely a special song. Um, End of the Night. There's a song on here, and I know India's watching. Me and her always laugh about when she was pregnant with my godson. We were going out to literally get her to walk and induce her labor because she was
Mm-hmm.
overdue. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a video every year that always pops on my timeline of me and her dancing to "Baby Meet My Lover." when she when she's like fully pregnant. And every time I hear that song, I think about my nephew. Um,
Aw.
but it's an amazing album. Uh, Take a Chance. There's a song on there called Helga. If you get a chance and you get a chance to see the video for Helga, Helga is literally like being a shorty and you got a crush on this girl and you trying to tell her how you feel. Like Helga's that vibe. So and then there's a song on there called Someday, which at the time I was going through like a
I
lot.
like that song.
Yeah, and it's like it's one of those things that kind of brings you back. Like when you're depressed, it's like, listen, like it's not perfect, you're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? The world is not perfect, but like this is what it is, and it's just a complete vibe. Phony People is like if Reading Rainbow had a show where you talked about rap albums, Yesterday's Tomorrow would be the first album that I was talking about. Like it's that kind of vibe. So
Yeah.
um yeah, that rounds out our top seven, yo. Like phone
Yeah.
Yesterday's Tomorrow for me is I mean, you can see it on my face when I talk about it. I was in such a weird place at that time and discovering Phony People and then getting a chance to see them live was a moment. Like, and I love their new album now. I love everything about it. I hate to sometimes I hate talking about my favorite albums of artists because I feel like I'm disrespecting their current work or the work before that, which is definitely not the case.
No,
But
but I think certain albums sit with you for so many different reasons. And sometimes some
yeah,
albums sit different because it's where you are in a place like, like one person that's not here that everybody that knows me know would be on here, which is a Brandy album.
yeah.
Um, she took me through places. She helped me a lot with her albums and the stuff that she was going through that I was able to relate to. I was gonna put Full Moon on here, um, and
That single alone is my favorite band joint. I don't
yeah,
know what it is
so
about that Full Moon album that just went like, yeah,
it did. Beats were tough. The lyrics, it was just yeah. So there's like so many unmentioned that it'd be like if I could take it, I would take it
mhm,
because um they brought me through some stuff and it kind of will remind me of where I am today.
yeah,
So, yeah, it doesn't knock their current work at all. I don't think so. I think it more or less just appreciates who they are as an artist. And I think sometimes when you're picking when you're picking albums from artists and it's their earlier work, they probably don't even think that that was their best work because,
right,
but I always think it was their at their most hungriest time in their career. So sometimes to me, the beginning works is the best because you don't have a sound. You don't, nobody knows who you are. So you're putting out things from your heart or from the writers or whomever is collaborating with you. And like, you don't know what it's doing to your audience. And I think that's the rawest, realest music that there can ever be.
yeah. I mean, it's it's literally just kind of I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you think about literally where you are at that time period, and it literally just kind of going through this now put me in a place where I was just like, damn, like just think about the love of it. We definitely want to hear you guys' seven favorite albums of all time. So definitely put them in the comments. Definitely like, share, and subscribe. Now, before we wrap here, I want to ask: when you look at your seven albums, I know
Mhm.
you just kind of gave us a breakdown of like various stuff. But when you look at your seven albums that you would listen to when you're stuck on a desert island, what do you feel like this album all overall represents about you? Represents about you. Because if you're stuck on a desert island, you're thinking about peace. You're thinking about getting off
Right.
the
I'm
island. You're
thinking
thinking about
about
what's going to center you.
I'm thinking about peace. Um, I want to remember every good moment in my life.
Mm,
And so I think that these albums, you know, remind me of the bits and pieces of joy in life. Like whether it was like you were so young and dumb and but it's like, oh, look what that taught me, look what that matured me to, or oh my gosh, you were going through with this dude because you played this song on this album like 8 times in a row, and it was like, but I'm not with that person anymore. So that's it's like that maturity level. So I think when I look at this list for me, um it just shows growth. And that's why sometimes I can still listen to all these albums and be like, whoa, it's growth. When I first listened to that Reasonable Doubt album, I was not where I am today,
Right.
mentally, emotionally, I was I was I was different. So but at the same time, I would want to hear that again to just that reminder of that nostalgia. So wow. Yeah, I was a grown kid. So clearly I was
It's,
crying over stuff early.
shout out to Tyrone. It's different for people at different times. Like, you know what I'm saying? I did an interview with C where, we talked about, how I grew up. Music for me was another outlet outside of like basketball and just my love for sports in general. Um so it was like that was the outlet. So for me, like my musical um knowledge is crazy only because of how young I was listening to music. And then me and my friends, like Shakira included, we have conversations about musical stuff all the time. Like crazy odd like musical stuff, whether it be about productions and everything else. So it's literally just how it makes you feel. Like when I look at my list, I literally see the basis of like what I am. Like
Dude,
that's what I see.
your
Like
list is very chill.
yeah,
Your
yeah.
list, your list is very like chill. It's a bop.
I
It's a
don't
chill bop vibe with, like
I don't want no problems, but if you come for
yeah.
the motherfuckers, I'm gonna give them to you.
So
Um,
yeah, I
I'm sad though because there's two albums that I couldn't include on here. Outside of Tyler Creator, and that was Eddie Murphy. So happy because Eddie Murphy so happy had Put Your Mouth on Me, and that makes that a classic album automatically. Like
on the island
how
listening.
could you not want to listen to Eddie Murphy
Who
sing Put Your
wants
Mouth
to be
on
on
Me?
the island listening to Eddie Murphy? Nobody. There's
Because
nobody
he
but
made
me.
Put Your Mouth on Me. So how do you not want to hear that song?
I definitely
But then
don't want to
again,
hear that.
you don't. But then again, you don't. You also say you don't want to do sexy time, and I want to do sexy time all the time. So
You're on the
if
island by yourself. So I guess that's what's happening then.
yeah, I gotta picture
With Eddie
myself
Murphy
being.
at that. Like,
I gotta picture
whoa.
myself being with a woman and singing "Put Your Mouth on Me" while showing her my cake belly that's about to turn into one ab. That and then India's favorite album, which I know she loved, is introducing the Hardline according to Terrence Trent D'Arby, which had two of the greatest hits all time. It had "Wishing Well"
Mm-hmm.
and it had "Sign Your Name Across My." I want you to be my
Okay,
baby.
that's not the key. That's not the key. You just you I thought you was gonna vibe in the right bop, and then it was just like you went a whole nother level.
What
Okay,
are you
well,
talking about? That's how the song go.
not on that beat that you were just on.
Big dog. The song is called. He says in the song,
You're
"Sign
saying the
your
right
name."
lyrics. Yeah, you're right. You're just not on the right key. But okay.
No, no, because you gonna
I
get
can play
this
it right
song.
now. I know the beat that is on. It wasn't what you.
Sign your name across my. Oh, want you to be
All right.
my
And on that note, we
baby.
want to thank you for watching another great
Hold
episode.
up. Hold up. You can follow Shakira where?
It's at the bottom of the screen, which is Shakira MC.
Shakira.
Um,
Shakira, can't nobody see that?
oh, okay. Well, let me just go ahead and remove this list, and then we will. um, well, it's Shakira MC, and that's that.
You can find me at Miss Teddy Farrow on everything.
But I
And
prefer you just follow Culture Gumbo, to be honest with you.
if you
That's what I want you to follow.
the people want to get to know you. How the men's is supposed to push up on you and watch Jason's lyric with you if they can't find you individually? Fellas, don't worry about it, okay? Follow the Culture Gumbo page. I'll make sure I double tag her in every post that I do so that y'all can find her. Okay. Shakeerah like long walks.
All right. We wrapping up the show. Thank you guys so much for watching, participating.
Birds never look.
Subscribe, like, and share.
The sun before the day is done.
Culture Gumbo.
On the light shines brighter on a peaceful day. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank y'all.
Sign your
Great
name
night.
across my. I want you to be my baby.